Alrighty. Not sure if it's working yet. Giving it a few seconds to catch up with my stream. Hey. So that was about 10 seconds. Cool. Sorry there's going to be no music with this. I haven't been able to figure out how to do streaming music and where from. I've been hitting a lot of copyright, or it's just way too expensive for my budget at the moment. So if anybody has thoughts, please post it below, either if you're on creativeclub.club or if you're on one of my websites. By the way, let me go over this real quick. Switching screens here. If you haven't already seen any of my other posts, I now have creativeclub.club live and running. This is where I'm going to be posting a lot of my collaborative work and anything that I'm doing that has to do with Adobe or anything like that. I'll be really posting it in here first. So this will be kind of the first place, and then anywhere else you see it, it's going to be just a branch from this. So today I'm going to be working on this. I had AI generated it, but like it was pointed out to me that like the C somehow dropped the pink color, and also it's spelled wrong. But this is not vector. It looks vector, and I want to show you how you can recreate this. So I'm going to open the image in a new tab, and that way you can see the full detail and the quality that it had. If you see, it has some dithering effects and it has a really nice gradient transition here. But I'm going to show you how to make this and how you can make it non-destructively, so you could come back in and re-edit it and update it. So if you want to change what it says, or you want to have like a news feed or something over the top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, and then we're going to jump over to Illustrator, which I had the last project open. So let me close and save. All right, I'm going to create a new document. I'm just going to set this to millimeters, and we're going to do 500 by 500, and I'm going to paste, and that gives me a pretty good size. So over my layers palette, I'm going to first create a new layer over the top. I'm going to lock this one so I don't accidentally grab this in any way. I'm also going to turn it into template. I really wish that you could turn off this on off this other stuff. I don't like that that does that, but that's something for another time. And I don't want it to dim to 50. I want it to dim to maybe 65. So it's not completely gone, but still there. The reason why I did that is so that I can work on top of it and know that anything I put on top is going to be a new layer. So I'm going to bring out my artboard and my swatches, my color palette, and my graphic styles. I'm going to go ahead and dock these over here so that way I don't fall into the art here. We can put all of that there. Okay. I want color up here. Let's put color in the swatches. There we go. That way it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. All right. Hopefully that's working out good there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get the colors. So I'm actually going to come back into this layer, turn off the dim, and I'm going to find out what colors I had used here, or got used here, I should say, what I need to use, and pull those. So that way I have a palette custom to this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new custom palette in my color swatches. And I am in CMYK mode, not RGB, so I got to be color conscious of what I'm going to be printing or designing for. Most of the time, if I don't know, I stick with CMYK. If I know I'm only designing it for the web, I stick with RGB, and if I am exclusively designing it for print, it goes to CMYK. Most of the time, it's CMYK I start from, and then if I know that I'm in mix, I might have a RGB color swatch, but it actually is a CMYK palette. So just depending on what you're going to be processing to, you're going to want to make sure your colors are in the right spectrums. So I'm just going to label this CC so I know what it's for. And the first color I'm going to come out here with is the light blue, which looks like pure cyan, but I don't think it is. No. So I'm going to go ahead and bump this up to 55% cyan and bump the yellow down to 25. So it's not pure cyan, but it's a little bit of a teal color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to bring this down into that group. Then I'm going to double click on it again, make sure it turns into a global, and you want that to be a process color. You could name it. I normally just leave it the name of that, or I would come down here to my RGB hex color and copy and paste that as the title. That way it's a little bit easier to find later on when you're dealing with it for the website. If you're doing any website stuff that you're going to match your color. Then I'm going to come in here and I see that there is black and white, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those back down in here. I don't need to make those a solid swatch. But then I have pink, and I'm going to pick right around the middle here. I think that looked good. I'm going to go ahead and drag that down here. The other thing I could do is just select the new, but I like to drag it to make sure it gets in the right spot. And then I'm going to color correct this. So actually, I'm going to bring that down to 5, and I'm going to bring it up to 100. 100 is too much, so let's go back down to 80. Yeah, that looks right. And again, I'm going to copy the title and put it in there so that way I can grab it easier later. All right. And if you pay a little bit of attention to it, I like to go from lightest color to darkest color. So my next one is the deep blue, which is kind of hard to see, but I'm trying to get a good glimpse of this deep blue here. So I think I'm going to pick that little swatch there. We're just going to bring this one down. Come on. And because it's a blue, I'm going to bring it right next to blue. And then, yeah, that was a deep blue. That one's going to be back down to 75. This is 0, 0. And make it a global swatch and put my hex. Then I'm going to go for the purple, which I'm going to do here. There's other ways of doing this. I like doing it this way because global color and actually 65, 95, and there's my color. Let's go ahead and paste that there. Okay. I think that's it. It looks like it's only those colors. No, now that I'm seeing. Nope, that's the same one. It's just fading to white. Okay. Just those 4 colors. That's all I see. Okay, now we're going to go back into this layer. Oh, that was weird. It's like I knew I was going to turn it back into dim. Now my main layer up here, I'm going to rename it to art. Just so I know that one's my art. And I'm going to label this original. So I know that that's the original file. Also, I'm going to go in here, unlock it, make sure it's not a link. Good. That's it. Just making sure it's an embedded image. So that way, when I save this, I'm just going to put this on my desktop. I'm just going to label it Creative Sunset, and I think that would be good for that. All right. So now the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how to break this down. What I can tell you right now is the easiest way to create these is using a square and then pulling into the edges. These are just circles. These would be just lines. And then I could just use the same line to create that. And then, of course, this would be a circle with broken up lines throughout it. That's pretty much it. And it's just another circle and gradient. And then for the text, I'm going to show you a neat little trick that you can always put something in here and it would always cut this out nicely. And you won't have to worry about anything dropping in behind it. So the first thing I'm going to do is that what I feel is the highest on the document. So you got to imagine the three-dimensional layers. You always want to start with the one that's closest to you and work backward. So for me, this one actually is the text. So I'm going to go ahead and do the text first. Make sure I'm on the right layer. All right. And then I'm going to pick a font that's close to that, which Helvetica Bold looks like. No, because oh yeah, that would be the best one. And I don't need to worry about font size, but I'm going to make sure it's center, and I'm going to center it to my artboard just to make sure when I grab this, it goes pretty close to it. Oh, that's something else. Avalon? Do I have that one installed? I do. Okay. We're going to do Avalon Bold. Yeah, I like that one better. All right. Then I'm going to duplicate this, and it's all caps club. And let's do the club.club so that way everybody knows. All right. Now I got it in the rough area that I wanted it in. Now what I'm going to do is that one's just white. So what I'm going to do is make a square around it. I'm going to select both that square and that text. And then I'm just going to make an envelope. I'm going to show you guys through the menu so that way you guys know where it's at. So what we're going to want to do is envelope and distort. And then we're going to want to make envelope with top object, which is in the Windows Alt Control C. What that does is it allows me to affect the envelope, but anything you put into the envelope will remain within the dimensions of the envelope. So if I come in here, I can switch from envelope to object. So now I'm in the objects inside the envelope. And if I just change this back to club, if you see, it's stretched out in reality, but within the actual text document or the text line, it's actually still just the original shape. Here's the cool thing. Now I can switch back to envelope and I can resize it and control where it actually is. But now I'm noticing that I need some letter spacing. So I'm going to switch back to text. I'm going to select it. I'm going to go into it. And then I'm going to come over here to my characters palette and the letter spacing. So that's one here. Instead of auto, I want to go put it to 0, but then it's not liking me. It's this one here, sorry. Yeah, this is the one I want to mess with. So I'm just going to hold shift and then tap up so that it goes by tens. And that looks good there because I want to get the letters to be about square, but have the spacing that I had there. I'm going to switch back to the regular envelope. Now, what I could do is in the appearance palette, put the fill of white, and that is the white that's in the object rather than, I'm sorry, of the envelope rather than being the objects within. So now if I go back into the object, go back into the characters, you can see that those are still black. I could delete this and it's still going to show that it's black. It doesn't matter there. Same thing with this. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create an envelope. And with them both selected, we're going to hit Control Alt C. Then I'm going to scale it to where I want it to be. And I don't like that the letters are too overstretched, so I want to get them closer to being a circle. That looks good there. And we're going to have some creative adjustments in this, so that way it's more dynamic. And like I said, now I could click in here by double clicking and actually go in and change it to whatever I want. And it will update live. You can do it to where it's just text, but let's say you get too big. Now you're going to have the problem where you're not going to see anything else. Here, let me get over here because I just realized I can't see a chat. So let me make sure I go to the right window. Yeah, I hate that they changed this because it's like, where's my chat box now? Sorry. Going in there now and turn off me watching my own stream. There we go. All right. Back to where I was. But now, if you go oversized, you're not going to have any issue with it being too large. So I'm just going to turn this back to what it was. And this way you can update the text and it not reform too much of your graphic. So everything is on top of the envelope. So I'm going to create a new fill. We're going to pull out the gradient. And I'm going to make this gradient that's in there. So it starts off with the light blue. Then it goes to the deep. Actually, no, it starts off with the pink. Sorry. So we're going to drop the pink in there. Then it goes to the deep purple. Then to the deep blue really quick. Then it goes white even quicker. All right. Let's go ahead and get this adjusted to 90. Yeah. I'm not liking that. Something's missing there. Maybe a little bit less. There we go. It's not going to be exact because I'm re-replicating it. And then it stays white. And then we have quick snaps here. This one needs to be blue. And it fades a little bit up. Bring this down a little bit. A lot of it, actually. All right, that looks about the same in relative terms of being the same. And I'll show you how to texturize this in a moment. All right. So I can select out of that. And then what I want to do is turn this gradient into a swatch, so that way I have this, excuse me, so I have this for later use. Why isn't it? There we go. And we can just put the gradient behind this for later use. All right. Now, the next thing would be is that the sun behind the clouds and stars. Maybe I should actually call this a moon. I'm going to hit Shift X because now I'm going to have to try to figure out where are all these gradients coming from. So here's what I see. I see that this is gradient bubbles or gradient points. So I'm going to hit Control G to bring me into gradient. I'm not worried about the stroke. I'm going to go over here to the fill. We're going to turn this on. And instead of gradient horizontal center, we're going to go over here to the freeform gradient. So the first one I'm going to lay down. Well, this one can stay, and that one will go about right here in the middle. It's going to be a really hard gradient. Then I'm going to put 2 at the top here. Reselect both of those. Go over to my swatches. Those should be pink. I'm going to bring them down. Maybe a third one pink. Yeah. And then we're going to do 2 at the top that are white. All right. I'm going to bring this down so it's not so hard on that edge. There might be needing to be another one up here. Yeah. Let's bring it right next to this one. And another one right here. I'm going to select this one because we want pink over here. Select this one again because we want the solid over there. And then I'm going to drop one right about here because this is blue. And then that blue is also over here. Yeah, that's looking good. All right. And then we want to go over here, and this one's light blue on this outer edge. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to turn off the stroke. There's my moon or sun. I'm going to say sun. Send that backwards. And the one thing that we need to do to it, which is the easiest way to do it, is to, come on, let me go. Wait, let's actually see. Is this just straight across? No. It's 2 pieces. So I'm going to say this. Why is it not let me try and drag a square? And it's not letting me do a square. Ah, something was going on. Let's save. All right. I didn't double click. What's going on here? I did double click. There we go. I have a feeling it's because I'm streaming. That most of the time always is the interruption. So I'm going to bring up the box to the height and width about where it should be. And then I'm going to, by the way, Control Y is what I'm doing to turn back to this mode. And it automatically did that because it recognized I was having some issues. And then I'm going to duplicate this again. It's going to be smaller width-wise perfectly. And then I'm going to bring in the edges. All right. These two wow, it even turned off my make compound shape. And then this, I wanted to knock it out. Didn't work. Interesting. Okay, well then what I'm going to do is expand that. And what I'm going to do is make a box that's bigger than it. I hate making destructive elements just because it's not working. All right. And then Shift M just to quickly grab this because that's what I want. And then with that selected, I think it's this one. Yeah. And then my sun selected, make Lippy Mask. There we go. Now the sun is Lippy Masked, how it should be. I hate doing that because that's a technically a permanent thing because this compound shape is now permanent. There's no easy way to modify and tweak the shapes, and I don't like doing that. And did I not go far enough down? Oh, those cut into it. Hmm. Interesting. Oh, no, those don't do that there. Do they? Yeah, no. All right, so that works there. Then we're going to come in here. We're going to make all the little stars. That one's obviously light blue, pink, light blue. I'm going to zoom out. I'm just going to cheat now, and I'm going to duplicate. These two are a little bit smaller. And what I'm doing is holding Control and Alt to scale evenly. That one's a small one. Let's say that one is the regular. Sometimes it snaps in places I don't want it to snap to. This contextual toolbar actually gets in the way. I don't like it to be off, but what I would love to do is it not reset the position every time I do something. I want it to permanently like be down here in the corner if that's where I want it to be. Like I could dock it like I do other panels. That would be great. All right, so I'm going to duplicate over here. Let's grab a small one. And what I'm doing is holding Control and zooming in with my mouse. Oops, that one is not that one. These ones down here are the smaller. And I don't know, like, again, I'm not trying to make this 100% the same. I'm trying to replicate what it is because this is vectorizing. This is where I come in and I have a little bit of fun recreating artwork because it also gives you practice. It's like the big famous saying, practice, practice, practice. You always want to know how to do things and get things to look the way that you want just by doing it over and over. All right, and then was another full pink. This one's a small purple. And here's why I had these actually has dynamic colors, or I call them dynamic colors, but what I mean is a global color. Because now I can come in here, double click, and let's say I want this blue just a tad lighter. I now can do that, and the pink, it needs to be a lot lighter. There we go. I can change that with just a few clicks and not have to go through my entire document and change everything out. Now everything's looking a little bit better. In fact, I can see that this gradient needs to be modified. So without anything selected, I'm going to double click on my gradient. Oh, maybe not. I'm going to select my gradient, bring it over. There we go. I'm going to select that one object with that gradient, and I'm going to take this pink and bring it out to here. Just because I saw that it's not really purple until about right here, so I wanted to bring up that a little bit. Then I'm going to go over here to the swatches, and I'm going to drag, and then holding down Alt, I'm going to replace that one because I don't need to. All right, put that away, select that. Yeah, that's starting to look cool. And now we're going to come in with the squares. So that's simple. Most would want to use the star tool. I'm coming in here with the square. I'm going to create a perfect square, looking to be about what it would be. I'm going to hit rotate. I'll hold shift down, rotate it out 45. Now, instead of using this, I'm going to select with the pen tool. Okay, it's not doing it. But what's that tool? I hit a blank. So now I'm actually hitting a blank. We're going to hit transform. Or what I could do is just go back here, and I'm just going to use the star tool. Hate using it because it actually gets a little funky sometimes. We're going to go down to 4. I'm going to hold shift so that it's a perfect star. Then what I'm going to do is make sure I select all of these. I'm going to hit scale, bring them in to about where I want them. Reselect A, so that way I go back to the direct select tool, and I'm going to drag that out. I think that's what I normally do. Maybe I forgot what I was doing, and because that now looks like how I wanted it, and I believe that has a gradient on it. Yeah, it goes from the dark blue to the light blue, so we're going to switch over to the gradient. I'm going to reset it. Reverse gradient. Where's the reset? Oh, trash. No. Where's the reset gradient? Okay, well, I'm just going to drag these out. Too much work. All right. Put purple all the way to that edge, and instead of purple, we want swatches, the dark blue. And it's a 90 degree. There we go. Then I'm going to duplicate that, and that goes from purple to white, right? Yep, just the purple to white. In fact, that one's a little bit taller looking. Ah, why wasn't it let me do that before? Something's changed. Because I used to be able to select the edges. If I selected more than one edge, it would give me those, but dots on the corner. And if I hit scale and scaled, it would do that. But I hit a blank today. I changed something somewhere and I don't know what I did. But there we go. There's the purple. Now we go from pink or purple to pink to white. Yeah, that is clearly what that did. All right, and then that's the only 3 stars. Actually, I want one more star. I want that star here. And then this one will go dark blue, light blue, pink. Yeah, perfect. Now for these, they're just simply a line. So I'm just going to use the line tool, drag it from edge to edge, go into my stroke, because now you can do gradients on strokes. I'm not worried about that. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to pull out the stroke tool, make sure it's a round corner, round in, and just scale up that until it meets about the right size. And 13 point it is. And now what I'll do is just make sure it's 13 points for all of these. And then what you can do is just bring it to about where it's going to be. And this one goes blue. And then what I'm going to do is, oh, that one is there. I matched the pink a little bit too well now. So what I can do is select this, and in your appearance palette, come over here to the side, and then uncheck this. Because then what it'll do is it'll keep your appearance wherever you have it selected. So if I select the line tool and now drag right here, it will apply it. And I don't have to worry about reconfiguring it. So that one's purple. So it's this one. All right. Now I'm going to come up to this one. This one we're changing tracks a little bit here. So I'm going to put this down, use direct select, select that corner, bring it out. And now I want to gradient the stroke. So I'm going to come in here to gradient. I'm going to pull out my swatches so I can manage this at the same time. I want purple at this end. I kept the, oh, I guess we do the purple. Double click, do the purple, double click, do the pink, and it's already pink at this end. So we're good. Now that one's done. Now I can just simply copy this up here, direct select, and move this. And now it should be good because those are all mathematically done. I want to bring that up a little bit more. Bring that over. There we go. And that one's pink, so we'll bring that up, over, bring it to where it's just about to touch the sea. And this one goes from light blue to dark blue. So I'm going to take this one, bring it over, and I'm just going to simply hit R for rotate, hold shift down, rotate it 180. And if you see, it didn't change anything here, it changed it here. So I'm going to do minus 80 or 90, or actually just straight up 90, right? Nope. 0? No. Oh, 180. Oh yeah, minus 180 was right. Never mind. What you could do is 0 it and then reverse the gradient, and it is where it is. And then I'm going to double click on this purple, change it to the blue, double click on this pink, change it to the light blue. And you want to keep those pretty close to the numbers that they will be, because then what will happen is if I change this line length, it just does the math to keep it looking the same. And then I'm just going to bring that over because that changes from that. I'm not going to so much worry about. Whoop. And what I'm doing is holding shift while I'm dragging, so that way. And if you want to know what these lines are that come up, what I have is under window. Then you go under no, not window, sorry, view, and then show smart guides. And that will turn on these smart guides. So that way, when you're dragging things around, they're snapping to each other. You can see where you have things selected. That way, you're not worried about, like, do I have that selected or am I going to select it? Where am I selecting it from? It gives you a couple more options. So now I'm going to hard select that one for a key, and then I'm going to line the circle to that. So it looks like it's in that same line. And then we're going to come over here, duplicate this line for over here. Don't know why there was a white one there. I see one's supposed to be the I dot, but I'm not doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a blue one. Ooh, I selected the wrong part. I want to select the center. There we go. I'm going to bring a blue one down here. And center align that to that. All right. And then for the circle one, that one's going to have to be destructive. Although I think we now have reform on circles. No. That's just rotation. So what I'm going to do is because I want to copy the exact outer path of this, I'm going to direct select all of the circle edge, copy it from within the clipping mask, and then paste in front. And then I'm going to scale it up. It's not going to be perfect to this one because it was not perfectly in the circle. And instead, what I'm going to do is switch it to I'm going to hit shift. Oh, that's right. You can't use freeform gradients. I'm going to hit shift X, switch that to a gradient. I knew that was 13 point for my lines. And then I'm going to come in here and just simply A, P. So that way I have direct select. And I'm going to just come in here and select approximately where these start and finish. So this one's a very short one. Then we got another long one. Then we got another one here, start, finish, and that's it. Then with the direct select, I'm going to select just outside that one, delete, just outside this one, delete. Oop, I selected it all apparently. Deselect, select. You can also hit Control Shift A to deselect all. That way you can get back in there. And then on the very edge here, delete. All right. Now I'm going to Shift deselect. Okay. Figure out something here. There we go. And then I don't need the top square. Okay. And then I'm just going to duplicate this. And then AP again. Select in here. And then we're going to delete these outer edges because we no longer need them. And then with this, this, and this selected, we're going to go into the stroke and I'm going to fix the lines. And now I'm going to come in here and, oh, that's not on the path, is it? Apply gradient with stroke. Apply gradient along stroke. There we go. That's what I want. And this one fades from, it has light blue and purple. So I'm going to do here light blue, purple. Oh, it had to be dark blue to pink, purple to light blue. That's what it's going. And the pink and the light blue are hard crushed on the purple. And the pink is also, anytime you select in between, you're not going to have your color swatch anymore. To reset, you're going to want to make sure you select that. And because that's at the edge, I can actually, I'm going to leave that more crushed towards that. There we go. This one is just solid pink. So I'm going to get out of the gradient and I'm just going to select the solid pink. This one would be the solid blue. This one's going to be light blue or dark blue to light blue. So we'll put that over there. Drag that in there. Yeah. And this one, then I can come out here with my graphic styles, just hit this to create it, and then come over here and click it. So that way I can duplicate it. But this one actually, instead of dark blue, I'm going to put this to purple because that one looks a little bit different behind there. So there we go. I have all those lines. There's a couple of lines that are supposed to be down in here, knocking it out. So I'm going to come in here and do that. Let's Control 3 to turn it off. So I'm going to do AAP, and then I'm just going to find out where these lines are, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. I know the 13 points, so this one, we do the cheat, and then this final one here. Oh, there's some up top too. So let's get those two. So I'm going to do these. Then this one, we're going to add the 2 lines, direct select the center, delete, and come down here, do the same thing. Delete. All right. Make sure. Whoa. Did it again with the select and deselect that I did not do. All right. So all these, I'm going to make them a special color so I can see what they are. And I did Shift X to flip the swatch and fill, 13 point. And we're going to make sure that they're round. And then I'm going to go expand this. So I'm going to go Object, Expand. Now they're all that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn these into a simple math. I'm going to Pathfinder unite them. And I'm going to cut, go into this. I'm going to double click on to this, Control F, so it pastes in front. And I think that will do it. Kind of did the opposite. Not what I wanted. Bring it to front just so I can see it in my layers. Oh, okay. So I'm selecting too many things. Nope, that's in the wrong one. Double click out. No. Let's do this again. Ah. Oh, yeah, there we go. Why is it not working? That should work. Maybe I broke the clipping mask. That's what was going on. Make clipping mask. There we go. I broke it, apparently. Now we're just gonna come in here and fix this edge here. So what we could do is create a square that matches the height of this. All right. And then all I have to do is pill it. And then I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. But I'm going to match if it will. There we go. Unite those. And then I'm going to come into this, select these two, hit unite. Oh, okay. So it's breaking that when I do that. Well, that's a bummer. Make clipping mask. And I think I got it. I think I'm done. Ooh, yeah. I did do it. Okay, so now I'm going to create my background. So I'm going to create a new layer, BG. And this will be the dark blue. Oh, and then I got to texturize it. So make this really quick. This is the dark blue. Send it backwards. Actually, it's darker than that. I think I was just going to do black. Yeah, black looks way better. Let's center that. Black just like makes it stand out. Now we just got to texturize it though, like I said. In the art layer, with it all selected, I'm going to come over here to, if you don't have this, it's called Astutes Graphics. This lets you do some really fancy stuff. Texturize. There we go. Noise. Oh no, it's Phantasm Stipple. That's what I want. Window. No. Effects. Phantasm. No. Stylize. I'm hitting a blank. It's called stimpling. Let's do one object at a time. Maybe that's too much for it to render. Oh, the dot size is way too big. Did it freeze? I think it froze. I didn't save either. That was my bad. I should have saved before trying to apply effects. Yeah, it's frozen. Ah, darn. Now you get to see me problem solve. Let's reopen Illustrator. That's a bummer. I'm going to end this in a few minutes here, so that way you guys can get back to whatever you need to do for tonight. I just wanted to get the effect put on it. It's called Stimpolism, and it's texturizing. I know Illustrator now has their own new one. I can't remember what it's called. But otherwise, it did recover. So let's save it before I lose it. Then I'm going to come over to my layers. I'm going to select the sun. Oh, first, Control A. Let's scale this up by like 50 times the size. Make sure when you do that, you do have scale all on. Easiest way to figure out if you have that is Control K, and you make sure that scale patterns and tiles, scale corners, scale strokes and effects are checked on. I do wish that was one of the things with the contextual toolbar or with the main toolbar at the top here. So that way when you're doing scaling, when you hit the scale tool, it pulls it up here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm turning on and off scale options. I believe you could double check it. Yeah, and you get the same thing here. But that's if you're applying it. All right. So Shift O to reset my artboard to the frame here. Okay. Now let's try the stimpling. I think it was just too small. It was trying to do it. So save before I apply. Go effects. Stimpolism. Preview. Whoa. Whole computer's locked up. Yeah, it's not working. And instead of applying it to that, let's apply it just. Oh, wait, that's not going to work. Instead, let's apply stimpolism to this. Hopefully that works. I'm not sure if this is right. Like I said, I'm kind of hitting a blank. I'm in a little bit of a brain fog today. And this is I'm trying to flex the brain muscle and make sure I get everything right. That's why I'm not on camera, because I didn't feel like having the camera open today. Come on. You can do it. I don't think that was it, because that's taking way too long that I remember it. Oh no. It did not want to stop. But I think I'm going to force quit this and end the stream from here, because it's not letting me stop it. It wants to do it no matter what. All right, everybody, stay creative, stay positive, stay safe, and treat others as you want to be treated. Good night, and see you again tomorrow.